Good day, everybody. How are you? Mr. Thabo Maupage. Today I'm going to present Module 3, Grade E, titled Basic Public Relations. If you remember, we started Module 1, Grade E, which was Personal Hygiene and General Appearance. Then we went further on to do Module 2, which is Basic Occupational Safety. So today we are on Module 3. Module 3 is called Basic Public Relations. It's quite an interesting topic because on a day-to-day basis, we meet people in the public domain and our behavior says everything about ourselves. The way we carry ourselves, the way we behave, the way we correlate, the way we coexist with other human beings. That is what is called public relations. Simply your relationship with the general public out there. Right. What happens is, wherever you go, you can go all over the world, I've traveled a lot. And I've seen the same thing repeating itself. Wherever you go, the first person that you see on the door or on the gate is a security. And if it's not a security officer, then there is some sort of security measures which has been put in place, either to control access or to monitor movement. So always the security officer is the first person to be seen when entering any company premises. Even some offices, they've got security officers on the main door. So that security officer must be able to portray a good image of himself, as well as portray a good image which benefits the company that he represents, which means the company that he works for. Therefore, the security officer, himself or herself, has to portray what we call good impressions. Only. You are not expected to portray bad impressions because they can cost you your job or your company can lose the contract, which is a bad thing. So the good impressions in public relations are, number one, you must be smartly dressed, which means if, like as a security officer, they give you uniforms, your uniform must be neat and tidy. That brings us back to Module 1 again, where you are supposed to practice personal hygiene. Because obviously you can't wear a clean and smartly ironed uniform while you are dirty, you never took a bath. So Module 1 works hand in glove with Module 3, which is public relations. Before your public relations become on a good note, you have to start by personal hygiene, which is bathing your body, ironing your clothes, and then you wear the nice. So dress smartly is a good impression, number one. Number two, professional attitude, which means the way you conduct yourself while you are busy doing your duties. It must be on a professional level. Because why? You'll be meeting people from all walks of life. And you have to portray good impressions. A professional attitude. Professional attitude simply means knowing what you are doing and doing it professionally. You understand? That's number two. Number three, communicate effectively. What is effective communication? Just ensuring that the person you are talking to or the person you are giving a message, he receives the message as it is intended to reach them. That's effective communication, which is point number three. Point number four, good impression number four, show concern to everybody. Do not discriminate. You have to show concern to everybody. Then lastly, demonstrate good manners. Those are what we call the good impressions. Number one, dress smartly. Two, professional attitude. Three, communicate effectively. Four, show concern. Five, demonstrate good manners. Those are the good impressions, which you as a security officer, you are expected to be doing or to be adhering to all those good impressions, then you are a good or you are a fine security officer. Right. Let's go to the poor impressions or the bad impressions though. Those are the ones that you must avoid at all costs. Because what's going to happen in the end? 1, you can lose your job. 2, you can lose the contract. Or 3, you're going to irritate some people and they end up reporting you, and then it will be a problem. So things like crude speech, shouting at people randomly, reprimanding people loudly, all that, hey, shit, hey, this and that. I mean, it's out. Avoid crude speech. Number 2, rumor spread. People who spread rumors, they actually want to create friction or confusion. And as a security officer, you must beware. Do not spread rumors, because it might end up getting back to you. Right. Number 3, disinterest. Obviously, if you are not interested in the job that you are doing, leave it. Than to show everybody that you are not interested in what you do. So disinterest is number 3. Number 4, incompetency, failing to do your job, failing to do all your duties as expected. Incompetence. Number 5, poor communication. You can't communicate. And like in most countries that I've been to, and most places I've been to, only the language barrier can cause poor communication. Some, not the language barrier, but the way they present whatever they are trying to present, which proves that they cannot communicate or they can communicate poorly. That's poor communication. Number 6, abuse of authority. They tell you simply you work like this, but you can't follow the instructions. It's something that is really bad. Abuse of authority is very bad. They tell you to work in a certain way, you want to do it your own way, which is not even allowed. You are abusing the authority that they gave you. All right. Then we come to incomplete uniform. You can't wear your fashionable clothes and you mix with the uniform, trying to impress a girl or trying to impress whoever. You have always to be in complete uniform, not incomplete. It's a poor impression as it is. Those are what we call the poor impressions. Never do any one of those things because you can lose your job. Communication is the key. And communication and public relations, they go hand in hand like this. So you must never do those things that they call the poor impressions or the bad impressions, because they create a bad image, both for you and your company. Module 3 is not so difficult. It's like you have to know the good impressions and the poor impressions. It's only 2 questions under that module. Question 1, list 5 good impressions. Which is 1, you must be smartly dressed. 2, professional attitude. 3, communicate effectively. 4, show consent. 5, demonstrate good manners. Question 2 says list 5 bad or poor impressions also, which is crude speech, number 1. 2, rumor spreading. 3, incompetence. 4, disinterest. 5, poor communication. 6, abuse of authority. 7, poor communication. It's a lot. The poor impressions are too much. It's too many. They surpass the good ones. Avoid those, and then everything will be fine. Thank you very much. We're going to be meeting tomorrow when I'm doing the role and function of security, which is module 4. You're going to enjoy it again.